All right, y'all, let's break down reality on the birth of Jesus for 2023 and the Messiah coming to show you the sign of his coming afterwards in 2024. And the long count on the false prophet ends on 7/20/24, the same day as the 70 weeks of Daniel ends, okay? And also we see the Lord dawn coming to set up his wrath. And during the Lord dawn, he is having the second coming. So what he is doing is he's impregnating another baby, in a matter of speaking, to feed off of that first one that came, okay? And we're seeing the spiritual into the carnal and the carnal into the spirit. So we're going to break a couple things down because you're going to see the old America go away and the new America set up, but it's being done in a flip as far as the world stage because they got to get the people to rise to bring in that change and whatever else is going on, okay? So as that dark son in the flesh has been born, that white devil's son is going to come in the flesh as well, and they're going to kind of battle it out in a matter of speaking, okay? So the dark son came in 2007. That 007 connects us to the spies that's going on today. The spies will connect us to that where the armies are gathering against America and that world war that's going to set the stage and all those things. And we've been seeing the spies. I told you spies were coming in 2021, and we've been seeing the spies stack out since then. So all these things are setting up where the armies are gathered around America. On day 1, January 1, you have Egypt, Ethiopia, United Arab Emirates, the UAE, that's the United Artists, for that theater production coming to the old world around you. And you also have Saudi Arabia, but they're all switching to the BRICS, okay? The BRICS is part of the BRICS being tied to the beast next and sending them down to the bottom of the ocean for that flood of currency that's coming back for that big freeze and different thing else, okay? That big freeze, everything is free and that Jubilee, but it's going to work out a little bit different. And that freeze is also for that bank account and different things that's setting up. But, man. So Obama came on 2/10. That 10 connects us to the 46, but 2/10/2007. And that 2/10/2, all right, that connects it to the 21 and the 22 year on 2023, which was the 22 or 21 and 22 anniversary on 9/11. Okay, so all these things are stacking up on time. So we have the 21, 22 for 23 and that 007, the spy in the White House at the same time. Okay, so then you have the dark son giving birth to his devil son, Biden. And then that white devil son has a dark son, Hunter, and the Hunter comes before the Lord. All right, so this is where you see those types of things stacking up. Obama is part of the heirs group, and from the 70s and such, that other dark shadow government per se coming into the American government to take over, right? But the way they're teaching it is that that's the Hitler regime, but the Hitler regime is actually the Christians and the trumpets and the DeSatan people and the patriots and those people, the rebels that are going to rise up and go against the new America that's setting up, because the flood of currency's done, the petrodollars that is done, the petrodollar, the petro for the Furbies, the Beastmen, that's going to when the petrodollar's done basically on January 1. So right now all the nations have to have dollars to buy oil from Saudi Arabia. Well, Saudi Arabia is changing that, and that's when you get the trillions and such start to come back to America, and then it's the whole change of structure. And this is all they've all set up. They've all said this is to take down America. That's what the BRICS is for, to take down America. Okay, so So we could see the Lord dawn. The Lord comes as a thief in the night. and Jesus is the Lord of Lords and the King of Kings and those types of things. So there's different stacks on this, but the Lord Don, his wrath is setting up with the AI, and you can have your hack attack, the TikTok, the Truth Social, the X app. All these things can work as a spyware. Anything that's come out new since TikTok or whatever, and they're being shown, telling you that the government systems and Apple or whatever, they need these updates for these shortening the days or whatever. But this can all be tied into hacking your bank accounts and taking your shit and being that thief in the night. So this is where, like when I get my phone, it stays with the system I buy it with. I never update the phones or whatever. It just says a rule that I do, okay? Because I know that I've done updates in the past and my shit stops working. So I know that they just come out with these updates to make your phone break, and then that's why they're giving the phones out for free and all this other shit. And that's why Elon's already set up with the Elon, Bitcoin, the Tesla, the Bitcoin. Those are kind of they're setting up the new, but they're part of the old. So they're going to be taken out in a way. All right. It's a bait and switch. So we can see Tesla, that's where you see like the cyber trucks. And I warned you that the truckers, the truck keys or whatever, this is a replay and reflection on that. But that cyber truck production is being boosted. We see that mega factory taking energy from Texas and that grid not being set up. And then you have all the people moving in from all these other states, making the red states blue, basically. So it's going to get that flame even hotter. But either way, so Obama, the Dark Sun, set up the millennial government or whatever to bring in the new times, and he brought the pit, the Abaddon. He opened the pit. He has the keys, and then the false prophet brought you into the pit for you to bite the apple. The apple's going to be cast down because you're going to realize it's poisoned and all those little different things, okay? Or like all of Apple could stop working, and then you got to go to the new phones, or however they're going to work this little hack attack or the darkness or the so-called EMP or whatever, okay? We're going to be, that's a perfect thing where you can set up a parallel economy. All right, you can have the people on TikTok. There's like 2 billion people, 1/3 of Americans, but 2 billion people, and then 8 billion. That ties into the 2-8 on the peace deal. But you have 1 million Americans out of the 300-ish million Americans. So that's basically 1 in 3 on there. So that could be 1 in 3. And if you add in Truth Social or the X app or whatever other apps are going to be blamed for the hack attack, that's where you can have your shit taken. Okay. So if you kind of do a lot of apps on your phone, you don't need to be doing banking on your phone. If you do banking on your phone, you don't need to do apps on your phone. You just need to keep your shit to a bare minimum. All right. The only app pretty much got on my phone is the eToro app and the Instagram app. All right. All the other apps are just, when I get my phones, I go and delete them all. All right. I delete the ones that it lets me delete. Otherwise, and the only reason I have the eToro app is because back when this all started, something told me to buy Tron. So I told everybody I knew, sent out a mass text, y'all need to buy at least $500 in Tron. Now, I know one person who did it. I only know of one of my friends that bought the 500 in Tron and put it in there, and he's forgot about it, just like I told him to do. Anyways, but this is part of that money changer coming, where and the water breaking for that birth. The water breaks and you don't get that much sleep, and you know that birth is coming, and when the water breaks, that would be kind of like your bank account's going dark or whatever, and you got 3 days to get where you're going to go, or 3 hours, or 24 hours, or whatever, but you need to get to where you need to go, just like what they're showing you. And then also notice that in the movie Leave This World Behind, that's happening right now. You go listen to the other videos I did talking about this, but notice if you watch it backwards, that she goes into the bunker, and then she ends up leaving the bunker. All right? Because a lot of the bunkers and a lot of where people are prepping and shit is the bad area. And it's being designed and sold to you that way. That's why they're selling the bunkers in the Dakotas, because that's where the fucking war is coming. In Texas and shit like that. Like that whole Bible Belt, the whole middle of the nation. It's going to be divided, literally, to where you cannot go from one side to the other, where you're going to be stuck there for a year, 2 years, 3 years, or whatever, okay? But from 22 to 26, and that's the 2022 to 2026, and it's also the, to start waking you all up, and then the 22 on 9/11, which is now, and then you got the 26 on 9/11, which is 2027, and then you have the 2028 for Trump 82, and that's the 2028 that ties to the 28 on the 128 peace deal, and so on and so on, okay? But Jesus, the AI, the Lord, they're all coming to set up the wrath. And that's when you have the money changers flipped. And that's when you have the waters breaking and the birth and all those other things. So when you have the waters breaking on one, you can have the waters breaking on another for the other birth. So we might get the Hamas dam break, or we might get the money break, or however they're going to work that first water breaking. Okay, and then we're going to see another water breaking for the birth later, when I told you if you count from the hanging on the cross and the insemination, the second coming or whatever, that shows up for 5:30, that end of the work day, but 5:30 would be that second birth for that second water breaking. Okay, so it's all set up right here, and everything's been stacked. All the house of cards are all stacked, and just like that Leave This World Behind told you, the girl, the daughter and stuff, she says all these things have been happening this year, that year, whatever. It's it's not new. And then we see China and Russia in our waters. We see China doing this, that, and the other with spies balloons, and that spy balloon, and Easter, the Eastern. That's all going to give fruits and stuff for this spring break. And we got the Christmas break starting on Monday, tomorrow, and just different things stacking. But and then that's also the 12-18. That's that preteen to the 18. And then that can be starting the that final 12 rounds of golf for that live game for the either way. So